I am not me, I am art, and I am here with you, not right now technically because this is a re-record. It's still 3rd of November 2019, but let's make some art. So as I mentioned, this is a re-record. I previously tried to go live, but it didn't work because the Wi-Fi is terrible. Why is the Wi-Fi terrible? Not me. Your Wi-Fi is normally tip-top. Well, yes, but I'm not at home. I'm currently in a Travelodge in San Francisco, or San Fran, as the locals call it, or won't correct you if you call it. I am here because I felt at a bit of a loss after finishing Inktober over the past week. It took a toll, guys. It took a toll. I felt like I needed a break, I needed a change, I needed to mix things up. And so I got on a plane and travelled down to San Francisco to visit the world famous hot dog and rom-com museum that is down here. Only to find the world famous hot dog and rom-com museum that is in San Francisco is in fact a fictional museum that I invented once in a dream, and then woke up and assumed it to be real. I have done a certain amount of things whilst down here in San Francisco after I got over the initial disappointment of no hot dog and rom-com museum. And you may see some of those in the future. Some of the footage I may or may not have filmed whilst out here. Gosh, what a teaser. But yeah, it's been tough. It's been tough. When I realised that Inktober was inked over, it's tricky. Much in the same way that I've heard that it was tricky for Peter Jackson when he finished making the Lord of the Rings films. Just another connection between me and Peter Jackson. The Q&A this week is a very simple one because we already had it last week. It was asked by Sarah Aldridge. Thank you very much, Sarah, for the question. And I ran out of time last week, so I'm doing it this week. She asked, what would be your signature pie? I thought about it a lot over the past week, Sarah, so I wanted to give you a proper answer. And the proper answer that I can give you is apple pie. As you will all know, the cornerstone of any good drama is tension and conflict. Okay? Tension and conflict. And within apple pie, within every slice, within every mouthful, within every fork of apple pie is tension. Tension, of course, between the USA and the UK. The USA have claimed apple pie as their own for many, many years. As American as apple pie is a phrase that I have heard used. But that's not strictly true because the UK can also lay claim to the apple pie. The first written recipe for the apple pie was written down by Geoffrey Chaucer in the 14th century, who is, of course, from A Knight's Tale, played by Paul Bettany. So technically it is originally an English dish that the Americans have co-opted. And so within that apple pie, you say, hello, could I have some apple pie to a restaurateur or a waitress or something? And they will say, yes, what would you like it with? There's that tension. Because they're asking you to decide what the accoutrement will be to the apple pie, but what they're really asking is, who do you believe? Do you believe that this is an American dish, or do you believe that this is an English dish? Will you go for ice cream or cheese even sometimes, because or will you go with custard, the traditional English accompaniment? And it's at that point that I feel very proud to stand up in the restaurant and bellow as loud as my lungs can muster, custard! Bring me custard or bring me death. Because I flippin' love custard. If I'm honest with myself, it might be as important, if not more important, than the apple pie itself. So I suppose really, my signature pie would be a bowl of custard with apple pie croutons. Little bits that break up the custard with some delightful pastry and apple. I hope that answers your question adequately, Sarah. Artist of the week, gosh, Could have been a lot of artists of the week. Could have been the pair of drug associated persons outside my room last night at about 11:40, putting on a wonderful play for me, a morality play where one of them wanted to hit something. Yo, let me hit that. Yo, I want to hit that, in various variations thereof. They were right outside, so it started off as an actual play, but then I closed the curtains and turned it into more of a radio play. I thought that would be the safer way of going about that. And it was terrific, but it just engendered a single emotion in me: terror. Whereas the actual winners this week, Taqueria San Marcos, took me on a real journey. Taqueria San Marcos is a food truck here in San Francisco that I visited the other night for dinner. And oh my God, guys, if you've never been to Taqueria San Marcos, you simply must. I'm such a traveler, I guess. I don't know. I thought that it would be wise to get some Mexican food whilst I was here, because walking around there's a lot of East Asian people and there's a lot of Latinx people in San Francisco. So I thought, well, I should go for one of those. And so I went with the Latinx option, which was, in this particular instance, Taqueria San Marcos. I almost went with the burrito, but then I thought, well, they're not going to do a burrito as well as Chipotle do the burrito, the king of burritos. So in the end, I went with a carne asada plate, which is steak. It's steak, really, by any other name. They brought me the steak. It looked delicious. I was on a high. Then I said, can I have some cutlery? They pointed me to the cutlery. The cutlery was plastic. Ooh, I went right down. I thought, gosh, how is this plastic cutlery going to handle this steak? Steak with plastic cutlery. I don't think so, Taqueria San Marcos. But in the spirit of welcomingness and forgivingness, and the chef seemed quite angry. I didn't see him smile the entire time. I thought, I'll do it. I'll try the plastic cutlery, and I did. Do you know what, guys? It worked a treat, because the steak was cooked so beautifully that knife, that plastic knife, that terrible plastic would barely cut Play-Doh knife, just dragged across it and opened it up. It was incredible. Right back up again. So it was a real roller coaster of emotions, and then it continued being high the entire meal, and then went down a little bit, I suppose, because I was too full. But then I went to sleep, and then that went back up. I mean, I suppose in terms of the actual meal, it was just high, low, high. But it really got the juices pumping. So well done, Taqueria San Marcos. Well done, you. Congratulations, you are this week's Artist of the Week. And that's it, pretty much. I did see, when I first tried to record this, first tried to go live, I had to... I saw briefly, just before I went, that longtime fan Emma of Greenwich, UK, had asked about the Great British Bake Off final, which I have not seen. So I shall have to give my thoughts on the Great British Bake Off final in next week's live update. Apologies, Emma, but it gives us a Q&A. It means that no one else has to think of a question. Although you can, of course, you can still ask a question by commenting underneath this video, any of my other videos, sliding into my DMs, or sending me an email. I am not me, I am art @gmail.com, and I'll get to it next week, or the week after if I run out of time again. In terms of what's coming up next week, what you can expect, probably not a lot, in all honesty. Probably not a lot. I am still definitely feeling the effects of the end of Inktober. And I will need a little bit more time to recover. I mean, Peter Jackson, after Lord of the Rings, took a couple of years off, I think, before he went into that one with the ship and the bottle and the killer and I don't know. It was great, though. So I shall be taking a little bit more time off, but I will be with you next week for another live update. So look forward to that. So are there pictures? I mean, real low-level stuff. If I have to put in minimum effort, you can look forward to it. But for now, I will say that was the live update for the 3rd of November 2019. I am Notme, I am Art, and I am wishing you a happy and creative week ahead. Take care, guys.